I am Taylor, and you are listening to the Behind the Scenes Surviving Maine podcast. With me, as always, the production manager for Surviving Maine Season 4. He yelled a lot of questions down from the voting booth, and I had to cut it out. It's George. How are you, George?
Hi, everyone. I'm okay. I'm ready. I am ready.
Yeah. I have been ready since first call. Do you know what
I
that's
am
from?
ready.
You know
Um,
it. No, you don't. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut this part out. It's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I say it all the time to my wife. It's the
it's one of
little,
my favorite movies. What's the line?
I am ready. I have been ready since first call. I
Call.
am ready.
Oh yeah, the Jason Hervey from
Yes. Uh, Wonder Years.
Wonder
Yeah.
Years.
Okay, you know. Okay,
Oh no.
sorry. And our special guest who has been ready since first call. She's giving main character energy. Alyson, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Wonderful. I know you've done a lot since you played
Yeah.
Surviving Maine, and maybe we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But cool. So about the episode, any initial thoughts on, this was like the first, it was the final morning. You were having this great, wonderful morning. You were crying in your confessional. You guys
I
were
was.
death cry. Talk about all that.
Well, first of all, I absolutely loved the episode. I just texted in our group chat that I only want to be voted out on shows now that Taylor edits because it was so good and the music you gave me, oh, I loved it.
You gotta have those sorting strings for a main character.
It was so good. I was like, am I walking into Lord of the Rings right now?
Allison, it was your game to lose at that point. It really
Yeah.
was. Just watching it and watching you when you were voting each time, because that's really the only time I got a glimpse of what was going on, because I was filming the votes each time. But watching your excitement build as you started to realize I could win this thing was really exciting for me, and it made me root for you hardcore because it really was your game to lose at that point, and they all knew it. They all knew it. Every single
Thank
one of them.
you. Thank you. I agree with that to an extent. Thinking about it now, feel like I was kind of a big fish in a small pond in a sense, in that I felt like I had this own confidence in myself in my game that not everybody else had. So I felt like that just kind of made me stand out in general. But something that you had in this episode that Adam pointed out, which I've said over this past year too, I was like, I know I was good, but like, was I really? Because like, yes, I was great at challenges and I made good connections, but I was safe for like almost every single tribal. So, and I never voted for.
Do you mean post merge? You mean post merge being safe for, because
Yes.
the first half of the game you were safe every tribal because you're a really good player. Let's not.
Yes.
Count.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there were like three. Well, were there three tribals that I went to before merge? I think so.
3.
Yeah, and I like was in a good position then, and then post merge I won or had idols, which yes, I played incorrectly. But I still stand by that. I just think my character, like as a human, carried me through this game and made me stand out. Which I really like. And it was so fun. And like going back to us sharing that last night together, that is one of the moments that, I mean, my memory is terrible, so not a lot sticks out, but that last night does stick out. Like half of us slept by the fire out in the open, and the other half slept in the tarp tent-ish area. And I remember being by the fire and just looking up at the stars that were like so beautiful. I think I even said to Callie at one point too, like, look at the stars. She's like, I know. It was really cool. And then waking up, we did all just feel happy to be there. There was no game talk. It was just appreciating that we all made it. to that point, and then obviously I got into my feels because it wasn't my first game, and I was proud that I made it to that point. So I was tired and let the tears flow because I was proud of myself. So, but even going into that last challenge, I knew I needed to win it, or I was probably a 50-50 shot of going home. But even just watching that, all of the different, I do remember all the different plans at different points, but seeing everybody else talk about it that obviously I wasn't a part of was cool because it could have swayed elsewhere. I mean,
Adam,
it really did come down to Adam.
Yeah, Adam was gonna
what he wanted to do.
you guys. Adam was gonna be with you and Amelia. He wanted to vote out Nick. It was like what he wanted. Callie had to convince him that it was you. It should be you.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite moments watching you play was when you found the idol at Tribal Council and just dangling above Tribal Council, and your panic attack that you had, hoping that no one was going to see you, hoping that no one, like, they're going to hear me, they're going to see me, they're going to, George, what can I do? And of course, I can't interfere. I'm just there holding a camera, and just to watch you maneuver. And it was like, of all the people, the smallest person there finds this thing dangling where she literally has to stand on her tippy toes and get on a chair.
Yeah.
Hilarity.
Yeah, I was
hilarity ensued.
I was the fourth person to go in. So Dave missed it. Obviously, he needed it. TJ missed it, which could have been like, it was probably this far above his head. Like, how did he miss that? And then Amelia. And then I immediately, when I walked in, you were standing in front of the window, which was different because every other time you were sitting. I was like, oh, why is he standing? And then obviously I'm looking for the idol and I find it and I was like, oh, you're standing to block the window so that they don't see. That's why. And then I grab a chair and but my own like paranoia from Outlast, which I played in a year prior, just totally made me spiral into, I found this now for a reason because they are all secretly voting me. It was my own paranoia. I don't think my name ever came up. Never. And like to this day, obviously I wish that the one person that I felt like I could have believed in that moment was Amelia. And I wish, I mean, even Adam said in this episode too, like Adam, Amelia, and TJ all told me that it was Dave. And I did trust all of them. But it was just when Amelia was walking back from voting for Dave and we made eye contact in our paths, she looked so sad. I was like, you really sad for Dave? Or are you sad because you voted for me? So that just like clicked for me that I was going to play the idol that I found at Merge. But then I found the bug one and I was like, okay, yeah, I will play this idol. Yeah.
Do you remember the state of that bug tape? There were bugs from probably a decade before.
Yeah.
It was just, that was all me, by the way. We were trying to figure out where to put I was like, let's just put it at Tribal. They're always looking there. So, someone's going to pick it up. And I just looked up and saw this scaly, gross bug tape that had been there since the Clinton administration, and just tied it right to it. And she was like, can I pull this down? I was like, I don't care. Do whatever you got to do. But that was a highlight for me, for sure. Now, when you first arrive and you are taking in everybody, who caught your eye first? Who was the person that you were like, I think I want to work with this person?
Chris Topher. I feel like he was sitting like kind of diagonally behind me, and he had a similar vibe to me, that he seemed like confident and smiley and someone that I would want to like talk to. He, I think, was the only one initially who I was like, okay, I hope I'm with this guy. And then I saw Sandra, and I never really talked to her in Outlast at all. So
you were in that game together?
Yeah. That was
never on the same tribe.
Yeah, that was both of our first game. But yeah, we never talked at all. So I had no like allegiance either way. I would have used it if I could, but also I was like, eh.
Must have
So
been
that,
nice though to see a familiar face.
I think I wasn't like, yay. I was more like, okay, what do I do with this? Which at this point is what I'm doing for every game I play, because since Outlast, there is yet to be a game that I played where I don't know 1, 2, 3, 4 people, 5, 6, 7.
Try casting a game.
Yeah.
Try casting a game now. You have
Yeah.
these games that there are some series that have 5, 6 games a year.
Oh my God.
And
That's crazy.
it's the cross pollination of casting is a big struggle for people that
Yeah.
want to cast these games and cast a pure game, because
Not
you got
possible.
people that are just trying to, get as much cash as they possibly can by producing as many of these things as possible. And then when you go to cast and you're like, which games have you played? And you see that they've all played this same game, and you're just like, can't cast you, sorry.
Yeah.
It's rough, especially for casting, women. It's the women are the purple unicorns of the LRG community. Someone who has never played these games, it's next to impossible. Next to impossible.
Yeah.
But I digress. Back to you, Alyson.
Can we talk about that morning there, because there were no cameras when Seth cries, and I just want to know about Seth crying about his mom. I just like that's when the footage starts at Seth got really emotional and he was talking about his mom, and I was like, what did he do? What happened?
I feel like that should be coming from Seth, but like he
That's
got
not a
really
big
sentimental.
talker.
He got really sentimental talking about his mom, and like for us to see Seth, shed some tears, we were like, wow, like this game did get to him. Like that, that tribal that just happened, his name was thrown around as a less strategic player, but I don't know, it was kind of that last day that I was like, oh, Seth, you're playing. Like even when when I knew he was voting for me and I had a conversation with him and he stuck it to me that he was voting for Nick and like looked me in the eye, and like I walked away, I was like, yeah, Seth, good job. Like you're doing it. So
You were like, you were happy he lied to you because he was
yes,
playing the game.
I was like, good job. Like you're doing it.
Yeah, it was a personal goal of mine to get Seth to cry at tribal council. I don't know if I don't know if you've seen any of that yet, Taylor, of me
I
like
have.
grilling.
I sure have. It's all cut from that tribal. It's the next one.
Oh boy. But yeah, because I knew that he was having an experience out there. And I
Yeah.
knew that he was reluctant to really spill his feelings. And I thought that it would be, beneficial for the series for him to show emotion and
Yeah, show himself as a person, for like the jury to connect to him, because the 6 of us, we had this very sentimental morning that only the 6 of us, whoever will be on the jury, would be able to vouch for them. Like, yeah, we had that moment, but like the people on the jury right now, they probably didn't see that side of Seth or see me cry, so they don't really know how much it meant to me to stay in this game. So that last day, really, I wish it lasted longer, but it was really nice.
what I love about this cast is that nobody lost sight of the fact that you were playing a game, and there
Yeah.
were moments where you allowed yourselves to just be human beings among each other, as opposed to people that were fighting for the same carrot. So that's why I think this cast is special. I don't know the behind the scenes from previous seasons and if that was the case then, but the fact
Surviving Maine is
that
very special. Every season has been like this.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because Eliza cast so many people who aren't super fans. There's
Yeah,
like half super
true.
fans and half people who have no clue what they're doing, and it's beautiful to watch.
Just live in Maine and love the wilderness.
Exactly.
And lie to each other occasionally.
Right.
Okay, so I know what I wanted to ask you. When you walked up to that challenge and saw that it was a puzzle, what was going through your head? Because you're not good
I was excited by this, like the running aspect of it, because I definitely feel like I was the quickest of that group. And I was trying not to get so in my head about the fact that it was a puzzle. Whoever was, I mean, you didn't put it in there, but whoever was filming me too, like they were really close to me, and like I was just trying to hype myself up the whole time. I was like, come on, Alyson, come on, just fucking do it. And it was, I think it was a fairly simple puzzle. You didn't really need to think about it too much. You just needed to put all the pieces in. And I was overthinking it. I was like looking at one piece and seeing if it could go here. But Adam said after, he was like, yeah, you just gotta like put it all in. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even think I was close to where Seth was.
Yeah.
So not to say I was going to be next if Adam didn't get it. But yeah, going into it, I think my heart was a little sunk in that, okay, this isn't one that I'm like automatically going to have a good chance at. So I really did try, but no luck. I think Adam actually won that at the perfect time too.
It could have been him.
It could have been him, yeah. I wouldn't have wanted it to be, but could have been.
I think it was going to be you or Nick, though. Oh, sorry, George. Go ahead. Go ahead, George.
I'm trying to start drama. Who did you trust the least at this point in the game before you were voted out?
Well, probably Seth, because we didn't really have real game conversations. And then probably Callie. I knew she was good, and I'm kicking myself for like being a little too focused on like, let's keep the girls in, like yes girl power, but then like they're getting me in the end anyway, so but
I mean, you Amelia Callie final tribal would have been a beautiful thing to watch. Because I think at that point, at the final 6, just from all the footage I've watched, all the confessionals that I watched, all the fucking Ponderosa jury talk that I've watched, like it was clear that none of the men could have beat any of the women. It was very clear.
Stand by that too.
Yeah. So to have the 3 best players in the final 3, like that's what happened last season. I loved it. So not that the 3 who make it aren't the best. Obviously they are, but it would have been a lot more fun to see like the biggest ones. Yeah.
What was your impression of Adam at this point in the game?
Did
you think he had a chance?
Well, you put it in there twice. That
I said it several times.
I think Adam would win. But I wanted to go to the end with him because I felt like he was being genuine with me, and I felt like I would have beat him. And I did want to go to the end with Amelia too, because at that point she was the person who I felt like I could fully tell everything to. And I really admired her game and her journey. Shoulda, woulda,
coulda.
And I also loved mine and Nick's like evolution.
How did this happen?
I don't know, but I loved it. That was probably my favorite takeaway. That was my favorite relationship takeaway, how Nick and I ended. Because like in the beginning, we were swapped on whatever tribe that was, and then he was in one of the minorities of who was vulnerable for the first merge vote. So I didn't want to work with him because I wanted to save my original people. So automatically, like, we got off on that wrong foot of him saying, like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
The most awkward moment of my life. And then as people, faded away, I understood him more and I wanted to be around him more. And then in the end, when it felt like it was me or him, it was just so open and candid between us that it was just funny. And so it was fun in the end, like I said.
So this was your second game?
This was my second, yeah.
And you've played a handful since, including one of mine.
Yeah.
You were in Andy's arena, and you did very well in that game as well.
That one was fun.
What were, like, after this game, when all was said and done and you started playing some others, what did you take from this experience? And did you, if anything, and apply it to the games that you played afterward?
I think I went from like my first game, Outlast, I was too trusting and I felt like that got me out. And then in Surviving Maine, I chose to pretty much trust nobody. And I got pretty far, but I could have done a little better with my idols if I had actually trusted people and like saved them. So then I think my next game, it was Survival Challenge in the same summer, which was a completely different experience that I had, like, people and tribe wise. But I kind of went into that with a mix of needing to, okay, I actually need to trust these people, but also be aware that I can't really trust them. So I think I gained a balance from Surviving Maine, and I also recognized how great I was at challenges and didn't want to show everybody that right away. So in Survival Challenge, like, I didn't volunteer for some fire making part. I chose to stay back in some points. I don't know why I was I think I volunteered once, and then like 2 other times I was the sit out for one of my tribes, which, like, okay, kind of lame, but also, like, if you're gonna keep winning, sure, go ahead. But I was thinking, like, okay, I'm sitting out and I'm still here, so I haven't needed to show all of my cards yet. And I got voted out anyway. But yeah.
Spoiler alert. Is it out on YouTube yet?
Yeah, I actually got voted out last week.
Oh shit.
Or no, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Back to back weeks,
Survivor New York.
Alyson.
Yeah. I stopped watching it. No, I'll catch up. It's just,
So let's go back to episode 1. At what point when you were running for the idol that was out in the field, did you say to yourself, what the fuck am I doing? At what point did that happen?
Wait, because George, all of this is in Alyson's deep dive interview, which is already out on YouTube. If you want to know the answer to that question, watch Alyson's deep dive interview. It's interview number 8. It's on YouTube right now.
I don't remember what I said.
Let's save it. Good.
Sounds good.
Interesting.
Stick
now
to
I'll
this
have to
episode.
I can probably add in what's the word? Addendum? Yeah, I can probably add that after.
Okay, so this episode. What else?
I don't know.
What else is to talk about other than I was really sad to see you get voted out?
Yeah.
I really wanted you in that.
I feel like I talked about this in my interview, whatever too. I loved that I had like a mini standing ovation from my people.
You're the
and
only
some
one.
of the audience too, like under the tent with all the food. I think I remember some people over there standing too.
Yeah, Alyson, you did say that in your deep dive, and I told you I was gonna send you footage of it because you said, did I send you? Because I can't find it. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. I couldn't find it this time. I was like, did I send it? Did I send it to you?
Yeah, because I remember saying, like, obviously I was sad when I got voted out, and it's kind of like a whirlwind when it happens, and you don't black out, but like a little bit, and you don't focus on just one thing. But one thing I do remember saying or thinking was, like, I was looking down and like starting to cry, but I like saw in my sides like people standing, and I wish I like did a dramatic, like look at everybody and like looked at their faces and like took it all in and took a bow. But yeah, that was nice.
It just speaks to your character. People had a lot of respect for you. You were friendly. You were, kind to everybody. So yeah, you're a dream to host in these things for sure.
Thank you.
And I'm sure. And what'd you say?
I said, cast me, people. Everybody listening.
I don't think many people say no to you. They all want you in their games.
I think it comes down to the connections and who they like more, or who they like first, or what character they need to fill, which I'm totally aware of. Like, as a theater person, like, I get it. So
you are a theater person. I watch you in your clips singing your little heart out, and you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
I don't know. Are you in any shows now?
Not currently. Another audition will be coming in December. I'm also starting to submit to commercials, which is fun.
Wow.
I haven't gotten any yet, but it's a new world for me, so we'll see.
Very lucrative. Very lucrative.
Yeah.
I've been in commercials.
I have. I was in a commercial with Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks for AT&T.
I think that's a ball team. I think
there's
soccer.
A ball involved somewhere. The best part of the whole thing was I had no idea who he was throughout the whole entire shoot. They were like, Jalen's here. I'm like,
cool.
Like, and I talked to him as if I'm talking to you people. I had no idea who the hell he was. That's how gay I am.
Alyson, Adam said, well, oh no, this is a spoiler. It's fine. Spoiler. In the beginning of the next episode, Adam says he loves Alyson. Oh, he loved her so much. And he's so glad that you live in Worcester because it's close and you'll hang out. Did Adam hang out with you after the game?
The first time so TJ and I have kept in touch the most. Nice. Talk to him very often. And the first time that I hung out with people, it was TJ and I, and we called them the Alston boys. Yeah. Kuiper, Topher, and Adam. So we hung out, the five of us. And actually, the last time I got drunk was with Topher, Kuiper, and Adam on my birthday 1 year ago. I haven't been, I don't really drink anymore, but my brother was playing somewhere in Boston, so I invited some of my friends and I invited them out and they came and it was really fun.
Is your brother a musician?
Yeah. Yep. He's got a band. Cool. I sing with him every once in a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a plug for this band?
Evan Daniel Band. Previously Evan Foisey Band. He's switched to his middle name now. Okay.
It rolls off the tongue a little more.
He writes his own music, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
So you're not thinking, all I ask of you from Phantom of the Opera with this band,
No.
right?
No, unfortunately when I sing with him, he doesn't do any musical theater.
All right. Back to the episode. Who did you trust the most at this point in the game? Who were you hoping was going to pull you through in this episode, or you just knew the writing was on the wall?
I knew that I wasn't gonna make it through. I did feel like my fate was resting in Adam and Nick's hands. But I was pretty sure that Nick, just for funsies, was gonna play his shot in the dark anyway, so I knew I couldn't really rely on him. Because I knew that Seth was gonna vote for me. I don't remember how I knew, but I knew that Seth and Callie were going to vote for me. And if I had voted Seth with Amelia, in theory, if Adam decided to change his mind, it could have, swung towards Seth. But I couldn't take the chance of already feeling like I think Adam's going to vote for me, so I might as well just play this shot in the dark. I asked people, I think I tried to get him to give me his also. Amelia already played hers, I think, right? Because otherwise, I bet she would have given it to me. Yeah, and Nick was playing his. I think I asked Seth too.
And
So
Nick
I
said he had
tried.
5. You should have asked Nick for 2.
I know. Well, I didn't. I don't think I knew he had 5, or maybe
That's right. He told you 3, and
Yeah,
then later
he
he
showed
started
me
telling
3.
people 5, but I don't think he told you that.
because he was trying to get 6
Yeah.
so that he could use them all. But yeah, he only ended up using 3 anyway. But yeah, that would have been cool. Then I would have had his other 2, and then we both would have had a 50-50, and then I would have been safe, and then Seth would have gone.
Yeah, with Amelia's 1 vote. Hey, so Nick seems like the only person at this stage who is still thinking along old alliance lines, and it seems like every single other person is beyond that. Did you feel like everyone was on the same page that you were, that like this is not based on alliances anymore, this is about who I want to go to the end with and who I can't win against?
I don't know if I was thinking about like old tribes that much anymore. I knew that I was the last one for mine. And I didn't really like see why Adam and Seth were super close. So I didn't really like believe that. And then knowing that Callie and Nick have been together the whole time, I was a little weary of that. And one thing that I regret in that whole, talk time is not really pitching Callie to Nick. I think I might have said at one point, like, well, I would definitely vote for her to win over you. And I think at that time, he didn't know that when Lauren got voted out the second time, that Callie voted for her.
Yeah, it didn't occur to him.
He was still like, who didn't vote for Alyson? So if I had told him, like, hey, you know that like Callie didn't vote with you on that, right? And she wanted to save me. I don't know if that would have been like, oh, but he probably still would have played a shot in the dark.
Oh, absolutely. But that's a good regret to have. In your deep dive interview, you said you had a whole different like biggest regret, and then we like talk through it and we come to a conclusion. It was fun. I had fun editing your deep dive. So watch it, everyone.
Okay. I wonder what that regret was. Probably something with an idol.
Yeah, probably. Another question I had is in Amelia's voting confessional. Well,
yeah.
Okay. So, and I know why she's thinking this, right? She's like, I think Alyson's trying to get the vote on me. And I know that she's thinking this because you, when asked who's playing the best game,
and I
said Amelia. Why did you do that when that's the one person you trust in the game now?
Because I think she was playing an amazing game.
But you don't be honest in tribal council.
Well, I was too honest. I was just like, you go, girl. I wasn't thinking of anything else. I just like really liked her game. Yeah. If I didn't say her, I probably would have said Nick.
Really?
Yeah, because like his name, I think it was mentioned in this episode too, like his name was out there pretty much almost every tribal, but it never stuck on him.
Mm-hmm. He did a really good job, especially episode 11 when it went to Dave. He did so much work to get it off of him. Yeah.
And I liked him at that point. I was like, you're my friend now.
The two of you were so fucking hilarious in this episode. You were just like giddy. TJ, I was watching with TJ and he was like, did Alyson have coffee? Why are they like this?
I don't drink coffee. Coffee hurts me. Yeah, I was just happy. I was energized and wanted to keep going.
Is there any slowing you down? Are you going to keep playing these things? What do you think?
I've already applied to 2 games for next year. Don't know how I can better my game. I really do feel like it's all dependent on the cast and the luck. Like, Survivor New York that I played in last month was a great game format for me, but I didn't, make the move that I needed to because the theme was the divide. And we started on 3 tribes and we never swapped until merge, which in some of my history, I just easily get swap screwed. And there's really nothing I can do other than find an idol to save myself. So I was like, okay, like this seems good. And I set myself up pretty well, but unfortunately my tribe just lost and lost and lost and lost. And then it got to a point where I had a chance to save myself by mutiny kind of for that one vote and going to another tribe to save myself. But I was just too selfish in the wanting the glory of being able to say I was in the final 2 of my tribe. That was pretty much it. And I trusted one person way too much because she was really freaking good at lying. So it was a double whammy. But yeah, I just got too invested in the experience and story for myself when I should have been wake up, Alyson, you need to make this game move in order to save yourself in order to get to merge. So I don't know how I got on talking about that, but
and shout out to Survivor New York for getting that write up in the Wall Street Journal too.
Yeah, that was so cool. That's also why I really wanted to get to the end so that I could have been in an article. I thought they would add maybe a picture of us because not mentioned in the article. So the game was live streamed and us pre-jury, we got really close. And that's always the best part of any game too. Like if you have a good connection and then you get to hang out with the crew. And like, I felt like I got to experience more of the game than like the jury people who got voted out like pretty early. So it was live streamed. So every time it was time for them to go strategize, us pre-jury would go sit at a picnic table, pull up the phone, and we would be watching the live streams and then looking over and be like, yeah, look at them go. And then looking at the live streams. So we had all of the tea the entire game.
That's amazing.
And that was that. And then crew would come over to us and be like, what's going on? What's happening? And
Chris and Naomi really know how to put on a great game. So
yeah, it was so fun.
I'm so happy they got their flowers with that article written by Andrea Fuller, who played one of their games and played a few of mine. So that whenever there's a quality game highlighted in mainstream press, I'm all over it. I'm very proud to be part of like a sister series to Survivor New York. We sort of work with each other and with casting and things like that. So on that note, so who is responsible for your demise in this episode? Who led the charge?
That's really hard to say.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Decide who we're giving the ticky to. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know like the order of all the conversations. I don't know.
Tell you that.
Okay.
But without knowing that, who do you think from what you saw? I liked, I don't think this was it, but I liked when Nick was like, if I can get everybody to vote for Alyson and I'm not even voting, like I was like, oh, that would be good. I don't know if he was the first one to say my name, but if so, that would be good. But I mean, maybe it was it's a toss up between Callie and Adam because I don't know. Oh, not Adam at all.
Then
with you. He made the decision though. That's the thing. Adam made the decision.
Right. So I don't really care who thought of it because in the end it came down to Adam anyway.
But someone had to convince him, right?
What?
Someone had to convince him.
I mean,
want to do it.
I can assume that it was Callie because I don't know who else Callie would have wanted to vote for in that round.
No, so Callie only wanted to vote for you. The very first conversation she has is with Seth. She's like, Alyson, right? And Seth had been thinking Adam was the biggest threat, but Adam had immunity, so they couldn't do Adam. And so then Callie goes to Nick, and she's like, "You, me, Seth, and Adam," and Nick's like, "No, I have no interest in that."
I was like, "No, I'm not interested in that."
What? What are you talking about, Nick? What?
Oh, Nick.
So
Nick was
Callie's
thoroughly
kind of thinking like,
entertaining.
Callie's kind of thinking like, oh, maybe this isn't going to happen because Adam doesn't think Alyson's a threat. He wants Nick out, and Nick is crazy. I love Nick.
No, I'm not interested in that. So good.
And you and Amelia were, and there was so much. You and Amelia were like, okay, maybe it'll be Seth. We can get out Seth. And then you're like, okay, maybe we can get out Callie. And then you try to get Callie. It's so funny.
I know. I loved watching me and Amelia in this episode. That was probably like one of my favorite parts too, because we like are similar in stature, and like our minds are both working so fast to try to save ourselves, and we did come up with a lot of options, but nobody wanted to do what we wanted. So but that was fun to watch me and Amelia.
Yeah, two little cute little guys.
Just like a last episode, Amelia and I were talking, and then TJ joins, and he's like, I can't stand. So he goes on his knees to match our level. And he's still only like this much shorter than us. So ridiculous.
Fucking hilarious.
And I don't know why I didn't make a funny remark. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, I must say something funny, right? Like, like, what are you doing, you Hobbit? Like, I don't know.
How long did it take you to decompress from this experience?
Oh, I don't remember that either. It was very.
How much weed do you smoke, Alyson?
I don't. That's only a handful of times, also.
What a good girl. Or boring.
I think leaving there was very tired, and also just like 20 minutes prior, found out that Adam, Chris, and Kiefer and Callie all knew each other.
Yeah.
Come on, people. Don't do that again.
I mean, I had nothing to do with casting, but it blindsided all of us. Blindsided all of us.
Yeah, that's a whole other level of like, let alone I've played in one game with Sandra. That holds nothing to they're sharing a freaking bathroom together. So
you didn't talk about this at all in your deep dive. I had to cut out like a half hour of me and Lauren's deep dive because we talked so much shit about the Alston boys. How could they have done this? And it's just not fair. But you were very good because you had really great relationships with Adam.
In the moment, and still like I did have good relationships with all of them. So I was like, well, whatever. They had fun. That's what I thought of it. Like, oh, these kids had fun. Like, good for them. They had a fun summer game together.
I mean, Adam's game mostly amounted to him trying to get out the people that got out.
I know.
So it was a little short-sighted because of that. But, you know, he was successful.
He made a choice.
I do think that's the only reason that he voted you out was just
I do too.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Just to check a box.
So
yeah. Dumb. But his choice. He made it.
His choice. So what do we think? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, George.
I was just going to say, I think if Adam plays more of these, I think that he's going to take what he learns from this and be a really good player. I think he has it in him to be a really good player.
Yeah. I hope they all do. I honestly haven't talked to them at all since my birthday. But I hope that they all do eventually want to play again.
I hope so too, because all three of them could. I don't want them to ever play together again.
Right.
But
we got to take the training wheels off.
Yeah.
So who would we give the ticket to in this episode? I feel.
What?
Oh, you don't listen to the Behind the Scenes podcast, Alyson. You don't know what the ticket is.
You
haven't heard all the nice things we've said about you.
I I've heard a little bit. I skim through if I like have a good moment in an episode. I'm like, where are they gonna talk about me here?
Oh my
Let's end
God.
this right now.
Yeah, fuck you. No, you've
Click.
gotten the Tiki before. You have been awarded the Tiki. It's the player of the episode.
It's literally in the mail. I'm just kidding.
It's a tick
It's not
coming
an
your
actual.
way. Headed to
There's a trophy on its way with a big tick on it. No,
Okay.
I would say, I'm kidding. I would say for this episode,
I would give it to Nick.
I was just gonna say Nick. I was just gonna say Nick because I think he's due. I think he's due.
No, he got it before. The
He
Dave
has?
episode.
Oh, so I take that back. I would say, it's tough because we don't know who led the charge, but I think it was just a general consensus to everyone who voted. You know what? The Tiki is going to every single person that cast a vote for you
It
because
was the only right thing to do. Yeah.
they were smart. They were smart to get rid of you because you would have swept the damn votes. That's
Yeah.
my Tiki is whoever voted for Alyson gets a Tiki. Uh, not because we didn't want to see you in the end, but
Right.
because they were smart enough to get you the hell out because you were too good.
I agree. That's how it should be.
I like that, and I do agree that I was great. But I still stand by that. If I was sitting next to, I don't know, whoever, like, I think it would be a little bit of a toss up, but maybe not. If I think about the people who are already on the jury, they would definitely
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe one or two people could have gotten one or two votes over you, but thinking about those other five, I think you still would have won, and not by one vote, but by several.
Yeah, I think the relationships I made would have, in the end, got me a win for sure.
Yeah.
Dave would have voted for you.
Dave,
no shit.
PJ, Zach.
Yeah.
Although if it was me and Amelia, I think the vote would have I don't know who TJ would have given it to. Depends what else would happen, but
and your speeches, like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all, eh?
Cool. I'm trying to think of any last minute things that maybe I want to say before I really put this to bed.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, this feels like 3 years ago because I have played 1, 2, 3, 4 games since Maine.
You're a junkie.
I am. They're all so fun, and they're all so different, and the people are great, and the getting to get to know the different crews, like, it's also fun.
If you win a game, will you stop playing?
That is a great question. I guess it would be dependent on, obviously, if I won, I would be proud of myself, but I guess it would just be how I feel. Yeah, I would play again.
Yeah, you would. You got the bug.
Come on, I would play again. I want to try, like, something new at this point, like
the Mole or Big Brother.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with other games. I need to start, like, watching other games. I don't think I would be good at the Mole.
There's an Amazing Race happening. Do you know about that one?
I saw that. Yep.
It's not called the Amazing Race. They're avoiding litigation, but I forgot what but it's Troy's game.
I think.
And what's that?
Is it the Expedition?
No. Troy's gonna kill me for not knowing the name of this game.
We gotta cut this out. Quest. Something Quest.
Yeah, City Quest?
City Quest.
Yes, thank you. Yes. I'm excited for that. That should be a lot of fun. So keep your eyes out for things like that. I think your personality and your strategy will get you far in whatever one of these social games that you play. So do it. Do the thing. Branch out. We want to see you do more. You're always fun.
Thank you. I love, like, I am, like, gaining a support system at this point because so many people, like, are, like, kind to me and like me, and they want to see me succeed. So that's been really great. And yeah, I'll keep going for all my fans.
Aside from these games, just a quick question before we sign off. Um, what's your dream musical theater role?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I feel like it changes. Um,
Two. Just give me two that you'd like to play.
no. I recently saw a friend of mine in the tour of Little Women, and going into it, Beth was always a dream role of mine because I want a nice death.
Sure.
But Joe would be really, really fun. And I know I'm about to age out of it soon, but I still have yet to play Natalie in Next to Normal. And
you could still play it. You could
I know
definitely still
I
play
can
it.
still look 16 for sure. I'm about to be 35 in 2 weeks, but I can look
Mozart is what is it? What's the line? Mozart is crazy.
16.
That fucking crazy. Great show. Sorry, Taylor, alienating you.
No, I love musicals, but I'm not as familiar with I mean, you go to one like twice a week.
It's my church.
Yeah.
There's so many theater people who play these games too, and it's like really easy to connect on that level. And then it's like, well, am I going to work with them or not? Because I know how dramatic and they can be.
Well, Alyson, this was absolutely wonderful. You are a shining star in the community, and I
Thank
think
you.
it's just going to continue growing and growing and growing. Thank you for what you brought to Surviving Maine. You were an outstanding addition to this cast, and I shed a tear. I'm not going to lie. When I was recording your final words, I got a little verklempt. I'm not going to lie.
I was shedding all the
Um,
tears.
Alyson,
you
you
were,
made me cry
and
like 3 times. I'm
yeah,
editing it, and I'm just like, oh.
yep, yep. She reminded me that I'm still human and I have feelings. So it's a
Nice.
wonderful thing.
You're welcome. And thank you. I cried myself because I freaking love these games. Like I genuinely love the game, even though I end up short very like often. I don't know. I'm still thinking about what I can do, and I do enjoy it. I've definitely learned to treat each game as a game and not like this is defining me. Because I think I took the first one obviously too personally, and even this one too, where I like let out so much emotion but came so close but didn't make it. Like that was a little heartbreaking too. But if you just think of each experience as a game and like how you can further yourself, and then when you get out, like just recognize that the people who are still in played a better game than you. Like it doesn't mean that they're better players in general than me. They just knew the moves that would get them farther than me. And
Yep.
I don't know, luck is a huge part of these games too.
Huge
so
part.
I am so aware of that fact now also. And yeah,
It's that philosophy that keeps getting you cast. It's that approach that keeps getting you cast because it permeates through the screen.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
keep it up.
I've had a lot of practice.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Surviving Maine, and that will always be one of my favorite games. And the people I've met, still friends. I went to Will and Amelia's wedding. Yes. Like, this is real life.
Beautiful. Love to hear that. I'm so sad that I don't get to watch you now. I can't even watch fucking survival challenges to you because you already got voted out.
It's over. You know what you gotta watch? Coming out in January or late winter, whenever. Surviving Bloomington. I think season 7. That I can't wait to see Casey's editing for those episodes.
He's amazing.
He's brilliant, that guy.
My favorite.
That guy is brilliant.
So
He's
brilliant. So talented in so many different ways.
Yes.
yes, I agree.
So you got to watch that one.
Absolutely will. I always watch Bloomington.
Yeah.
All right,
Love that,
Alyson.
I think I got what plugs in.
Alyson, but love you more, and I hope to see you again in one of my games one of these days. I don't know. I think when I do my multi-day one of these days, I think that might be your next.
I did apply. Whenever you had that last, I applied anyway.
Okay. All right.
If anybody
Love
has
y'all.
any theater work for me, I live in Massachusetts. Send me your auditions. I'm here. I'm available.
You played Marion, right, in Music Man?
I did. Marion was my last role, which was a huge challenge, but I pretty much killed it. So that was a whole new like level that I'm getting to. Words. I'm not even playing a game, and words are still hard.
Awesome.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
All right.
Taylor, take us home.
If you haven't already, but you need more Alyson, her deep dive interview is up on Spotify and YouTube. Her gorgeous orange and white creamsicle cat is in her arms now. And her Ponderosa comes out on Thursday or Friday. I forget.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch how rapidly I apply chapstick because
Right,
that's
chapstick.
something I didn't talk about. Can I say really quickly?
Yes.
I don't know how all of our lips were like we were in the desert for months. It was the most unbearable thing I've ever experienced in a game. Ever. I don't know why. I mean, I am addicted to chapstick. I have been.
That's why.
But like if you look at everybody's lips, it was like the reason I had my buff and like I was going like this all the time because I like was pretending I had chapstick, or just I was constantly touching my lips because it hurts so bad. Like I remember Amelia's lips were cracked and bleeding.
Yeah.
Adam's were bright red.
Yeah.
Like it's
were peeling.
It's not like it was even that hot out. I don't know what happened, but as soon as I got voted out, I grabbed my keys with my chapstick and was like, oh yeah, this is better than any kiss I've ever had in my life. Like, give me the chapstick.
The audience doesn't know that every fucking confessional, Alyson was like, here I am. Alyson was like, I need chapstick. Like Brandon would be like, what do you need? What are you thinking? And you'd be like, I need chapstick. You were rubbing orange peels on your lips. I don't remember if that made the edit.
Put in a chapstick reel at the end.
Yeah. I have all kinds of bloopers that I need to edit at some point. They're all like I threw them all in a file, but we'll see.
Good. I'm glad I remembered because that is something going into tonight that I was like, I had to talk about the chapstick.
All right, Alyson.
Now we can leave.
Thank you for being with us. And we'll see you all next time.
Thank you.
Bye.